I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joey Evans.
I'm Z Garcia.
And we're not doing a top 3 candy today, but we just learned that Z likes Boston baked beans.
Boston
I do indeed.
beans.
We're not talking about baked beans. We're talking about the candy Boston baked beans. It's one of my least favorite candies, but you like it. Who else likes it in the comments?
Yeah, well, it's peanut covered in a candy shell.
Is
Some
it?
really good flavoring in there, yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's very good. They're nice and crunchy, but not too hard.
People must like them. They sell them.
They got to.
It's not like a jawbreaker hard, but it's got some nice crunch to it. Very flavorful. I think they're good.
Really?
Yeah, I can have about that much. That comes in the little packs, and then I'm like good for a while. You know what I mean?
By like them, do you mean you will actively grab them off the shelf, or if they're sitting there, you'll eat them?
If I go watch a movie and I'm having a little, it's a good snack for that. I think a lot of candies don't actually translate well to like the popcorn effect.
That's a good point.
I agree on that part, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Board Game Smorgasbord, where we talk about board games, the board game news, a top 3, and a topic of the day. And lots of other things. And you know what? We got all kinds of videos for you to watch. Come back Monday. We're going to be talking about some changes we're making on the Dice Tower. But also come back later today at 2. We're going to be doing our top 10 fantasy games. Me, Z, and Camille will be being fantastic and fantastical.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Fantastic Beasts.
They both.
Mr. Fantastic.
Ooh.
Yeah, you'll be Mr. Fantastic.
You guys are two different genres, by the way.
Fantastic Boy.
Because one went Harry Potter, one went Marvel. Like, wow.
Harry Potter is Marvel.
Ah, not yet.
No, he is.
What?
They're in the same universe. You just never seen them cross paths.
Yeah, not yet.
The way you guys are collaborating on this.
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange.
You never heard Doctor Strange being like, Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm going to Google it.
All right. Dice Tower East is just a few weeks away. Dice Tower Cruise, though, wide open there. And this library that we're taking Dice Tower East will also be at Dice Tower Cruise. So you have a good time. And you're probably hot right now. Summer comes and you're thinking, man, it'd be great to go on a cruise. It would be great. We get to go in the cold of winter. And then it feels marvelous.
Yeah.
It's still
80.
the Caribbean, so don't you
It
worry.
is. You'll be fine.
It's good.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, let's get to the news. All right, folks. Let's get started. We got several new games being announced. We have a new game from Space Cowboys called Spellbook coming. This is from Phil Walker Harding.
Oh, Phil Walker Harding's
Heard
back.
of him.
Does he sleep, you think? Or
No.
Yeah, no, he's past
You think
it.
he's the new Knizia?
Mike will be upset. There's no
No,
new
I'm
Knizia.
serious. Like, he's putting out a ton of games each year. I don't know if he's as machine-like as Knizia is.
He's close, right? He's getting to that
Careful.
point.
He is.
Companies, like, he works with a lot of different companies. He's always got something new out. I think he might be the most apropos comparison, yes.
He's the Aussie Knizia.
What's that mean? Like,
From
because he's from
Australia?
Australia? Oh, okay.
Oh, I think
I
they
think you
can
meant like
Harriet.
Osborne.
No,
I know.
why
I
would
thought
I mean that?
Osborne too. I'm like,
Why would I
fucking-
mean that?
I have no
All right.
idea.
Anyway, Spellbook. With more than 2,100 possible spell combinations, lots of replayability. I'm actually pretty interested in this one. It's going to be demoed at Gen Con with a few early boxes for sale. Few equals probably 50 or 100.
Or 200 at best.
Yeah.
Not loving the name, I think. The name is a little forgettable, but it is about a spell book, so maybe that works.
I like the
I
artwork.
wonder, I mean, that's all we've got, though, so far. We don't really know what kind of game it is, or do we?
You have a Grimoire, which is already a name of another game.
Book, yeah.
He says, this is Phil Walker Harding says, Spellbook is a result of my fascination with rummy combinations. Learning spells turned out to be the perfect theme. And then Space Cowboys, thanks to the extraordinary work of Space Cowboys, the game came to life. I hope players will enjoy learning some magic tricks.
Oh, Joey, that's right up your alley.
Pass. I'm just kidding.
Then, my favorite game, Harry Potter. I also like it, Doctor Strange.
Oh, that would be great. If you can talk to them.
Wow, yeah,
But Space Cowboys has a really good track record.
they do.
So
Yeah, they do.
that's a good combo.
Honestly, when it comes to this, all this information, I trust Phil Walker Harding. I really trust Space Cowboys.
And you really, really trust magic.
No, I don't trust magic at all.
Magic's
I think
a pile of lies on the
it's,
stage.
yeah, okay.
Fine.
I don't believe in it at all.
All right. Well, since Mike puts together the news, we got some stuff from Oink.
Here
So we got Tiger and Dragon. That's an English version of this game.
Both Tiger and Dragon in the same game? Is Phil Walker Harding involved?
Yes.
I gotta say, that dragon looks like a pretty pathetic, weak dragon compared to the tiger on the cover.
He's malnourished.
Yeah.
He's really not that great. Anyway, this is based on a
questions.
traditional Japanese game. It was originally released by Arclight Games, but Oink is doing the international version. The Ultimate Kung Fu Showdown.
I get, is there a mahjong vibe
That's what I'm
going
feeling
on
on
here?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe it's based on a traditional game, Goita, Goita.
Huh.
I don't think I know that. It doesn't ring any bells. It looks cool. It looks like a really nice production. And this is one of the slightly bigger Oink boxes. You know, they're still so small, but it looks to be one of the slightly larger ones.
You're right.
With some rummy-esque combinations, which means Phil Walker Harding will probably like it. He's fascinated with rummy lately. I don't know if you guys have heard that.
I have not.
I did.
All right, also from Oink, we have Make the Difference. Now, this one I have already reviewed on our channel. I got an earlier copy from Essen. I guess the international one, now it's coming to America. So they give you these two pictures, and you make 5 changes with a marker on the picture. Mm-hmm. And then you put a little plastic thing on top of it so it obscures so you can't just see what's the
new ink.
What's the new ink. And then everyone goes and looks for the differences between the two pictures. It's really good.
Did you play it?
Yeah.
Did the obscuring thing work? That
It
was my
does.
one issue.
It does work.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, you can make like a line, like, I forget, there's some rules on like what you can and cannot do, but you like can lengthen a line. You can be a little subtle with what you've done.
Huh.
I like that a lot. 'Cause
I do
love
too.
these
I do
spot
too.
the difference games. And when you can make your own, that's just fun.
I used to do those highlights magazines, and sometimes they'd forget to put 10 in there, and they say there's 10, there's only 9. I remember spending hours. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And they're like, hey, just so you know, last magazine, we made a huge mistake.
You have to wait till next month.
Like, come on.
Oh, man.
Yeah, these I like. That's, man, you could be really subtle with that,
It
too,
is a
couldn't you?
disposable game because you will run out of, you only mark on one of the two pictures, but then that picture, the one that you did is gone. But I think there was like 100 in the box, pages.
So it's not erasable.
It is not.
And you really couldn't tell. It blends in well when you...
It really does. I had doubts on that.
Yeah.
But it did.
Yeah, that was my concern when I saw it come through here. But that's great.
But you also try not to make it too hard because they have to find it within a certain time frame. If they don't find it, you lose points. But if they find it too early, you lose points.
It's like Dixon.
Oh.
Dixon
Yeah.
rules.
Okay.
Find the sweet spot.
All right. Now from Brain Crack Games, also Lucky Duck, we got Last Resort. Last Resort is coming into retail Q3 of this year. It's by Andrew Forster. You're building a space hotel. It's 60 to 80 minutes, not 90. You will not go 90.
No.
If
If
money.
it goes to 90 minutes, you've done something horribly wrong.
Yeah.
This is a cool looking cover, that's for sure. As far as what's going on the table, I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not a great picture, and it also looks a little generic, but I'm hoping it's good.
Look, the tiles are back.
I think tile laying, yeah, and maybe moving around little people on the center there.
Yeah, I want to zoom in and kind of do that. a
Yeah,
little
right?
bit.
You got to pinch it.
Yeah, just do that. Just do that, Tom.
Oh,
Yep, there it is.
okay. Anyhow, now speaking of weird covers,
Yeah.
Champions. This is coming from Asmodee. Now, this is
Oh,
a game in which I have zero interest, which is unfortunate because Repost Production is a company I like a lot. Now, there's a few problems with this for me. One, that cover's weird.
Yeah.
2, they're calling it Champions. Isn't the other game called Champions? The one from Z-Man?
challengers?
Oh, it's Challengers. Okay. But Champions, I don't know, is that unique. But this game, let me read you the description.
Go for it.
It's a fast-paced party game where players vote on who will win various duels inspired by hypothetical prompts.
Okay.
You're offered 2 fictional or historical characters and duel cards and vote on who would win the duel. As an example, Marie Antoinette could take on King Kong in a duel of who likes pineapple on their pizza more.
Oh, boy.
Wait, what? Kind of fell apart there at the end. So
Here's the thing. This game already exists
we
at
definitely-
least
At least
2 or
once.
3.
Yeah,
Really?
There's Who Would Win. There is that fight game, the Ultimate Fight Showdown or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Super Fight. Now, Super Fight's slightly different because they're actually fighting. But
okay.
Who Would Win
Is this game?
is this game exactly. You would draw like Martha Stewart and Barack Obama, and who would be better at crocheting. And then you would argue over that. Now, this might have more of a game involved in it. It better. Because that premise is like, blah.
I agree. I was hoping it would be... I love weird characters in a soup kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then when it's the old argue for your side and the judge will give you points or not, I hate that.
Yeah, I know.
That very much for me, like you said, falls apart at the end.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a bizarre looking cover too, but I like the brightness of it. I like the party atmosphere of it.
Yellow's the new box cover.
It's really bright too. I'm not a huge... Yeah,
That's
way
a
too
wait.
bright.
It's a wait and try for sure. It might be hilarious.
who's up at the top right? Is that Wednesday Addams? Is that what they're trying to do? I don't know.
For sure.
Is it? Okay.
All right, then we got Beacon Patrol, which
Here we go.
we almost played the other night.
We did.
And then I said no.
Oh, yeah.
You had a box of Brazilian games.
I did. But this is coming from Pandasaurus, and your Captain of the Coast Guard is a 2-player game, a tile-laying game. Looks very interesting.
It does.
It will
Artwork's
be
good.
available in retail July 26th, also at Gen Con, because that's after July 26th.
Yes. I like lighthouses. I'm in.
So I like that
Pandasaurus.
style, that drawing
I do
style
too.
with the thick lines like that and the very light, very simple palette. Only 3 colors on there. I really like that.
Yeah.
4 colors, I guess.
All right. A couple games from Queen here. So the first one is Finish Line, the dice action game. So both these games are from Dan Glim, who I don't know off the top of my head. Now, what's odd about this one is our thing says it's heading to the U.S., but I was just looking at Target yesterday, and this game was available on their board game site. It was being
Pre-ordered?
fulfilled by another store,
Okay.
like Noble Night Games or something. I forget who works with Target, but you could get it right now. If I had ordered it, I would have it Tuesday, as they said.
Okay.
This one breaks the long tradition of Queen not having good covers. 'cause
I was thinking the same thing.
that's a pretty good cover.
That does not look like a Queen
Great
cover.
And a lot of Queen games have Middle Eastern or Egyptian settings. Like, they love those settings. So this is nice to see something a little bit different
It's
from
just-
them. To be fair, they might be racing these horses in Egypt. I don't know.
Those are like the angry horses. Those aren't like
Is
the
that a-
soft horses. Those are...
Is that a pyramid in the back or a mountain?
I think it's the stands of the...
It's in Kentucky, so
Oh,
it's probably like...
okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's the stands.
Anyway, this is a new racing game.
Yeah.
Someone's going to roll 3 dice from 2 to 5 colors. Pick one to keep. Everyone else will do the same. The dice will change the position of horses or alter the value of horses. There'll be bets. I hope it's good. It's going to have a hard time competing with some, obviously Ready, Set, Bet just came out.
Plus, that kid, it sounds a little bit like the Knizia Classic, Turfmaster.
It is weird that in the bottom corner they have this like custom dice.
Yeah, that looks... That's very Queen. But no,
I mean, it's like seriously, it's like custom dice. Oh, as opposed to other games.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like no one has custom dice these
It's like,
days.
wait, what? You can customize dice?
It's such a weird thing.
It's crazy.
Unless they're selling this, unless this plan is for mass market. In which case, that
Right.
is a selling point.
Sure.
The other game is a reprint of a game that they did on Kickstarter for sure, called Dragon Quest, a fantasy dice game.
Whoa, also custom... They're throwing this custom dice thing around.
Well, that's a new thing they're
Cost
doing.
them a lot of money.
But now we're back to their normal covers.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a roll and write game based on the 1985 Games Workshop title Dungeon Quest. I'm out. I hate Dungeon Quest so much.
Really? Haven't played it.
So Dungeon Quest is a game in which you go through and you be moving around this dungeon, you draw cards, and then you might fight stuff or whatever. You could also draw a card that says, you die. Or roll a die, 4 to 6, you die. I'm not kidding. The percentage, I forget what it is exactly, but it's like 22% that you'll survive.
Really? So
And
it's fully luck-based. It's like D&D 1E.
It's fully luck-based. A little bit of push your luck, I suppose. Like, you get some treasure, like, now you get out, but you still have to move through the rooms. But there's a lot of rooms where, like, my turn. I move into a room, turn a card over, and it says, nothing happens. I'm like, Man, I'm having so much fun. It has its fans, though. Every time I say this, someone in the comments will be like, oh, I love the game. But Dungeon Quest sucks. Okay. Anyway.
Dragon Quest, though,
This is...
has custom dice.
Yeah, did yours?
I don't remember.
I do wonder, yeah.
Anyway, I saw it's like a big roll and write. I was looking at the Kickstarter that they had. It's like a big sheet of stuff. I think you go through the dungeon. I'm not sure.
You lose Z after 3 sheets of their own right, remember?
After one.
The game ends when you get
You're out,
your
he's out.
19th turn, or if you lose 13 hit points. The player who is alive and has gathered the most amount of treasure is the winner.
Okay.
All right. Where are we at now? Oh, I like this cover. Comet.
Oh.
This is from Fun Tales. Peter Prinz. It's been a while since we've seen a game from him. He's
Well,
the
he's only
designer
ever
of
done one.
Thieves. No, there's a crime story series that he was involved with.
Really?
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, he did Thieves, and he did Thieves, the card game, which was kind of like Thieves.
It was very much like
That's
Thieves.
it. Like, I didn't know about anything else. That's really amazing.
The illustrator here is the same guy, it says, as Hendrik Nowak, who did Glenmore 2 and Mosaic.
Okay, so it's Fun Tales, which is Glenmore 2. You know, that's what they're known for mostly.
And they have good components.
They
There
do
are
have
several
good
games.
components,
And this
yes.
designer, Thieves, is very popular. You're trying to rescue animals from getting extinct, endangered species here. And once you rescue the animals, they give you special abilities.
Ooh, I wonder what you get from that goat. I love that
Jerky.
looking at this cover. You can look at this cover and go, like, I know which ones don't make it.
Yeah.
Like, that goat is going to make it. I've seen that fella.
I have
He's
too.
down the street. That saber-toothed tiger, sorry, pal.
You don't know if Robert is here. It might have one of those in the back.
A saber-toothed tiger?
That'd be cool. I'd go
That'd
there
be
more often.
amazing.
I would
Oh,
too.
my gosh.
That's why the
Better
shakes
like
are
a
so
really big
expensive.
fence, though. I would.
I don't understand how saber-toothed tigers
Didn't make it?
work, like mechanically work.
How they close their mouths?
Those giant
Yeah.
tusks, you know, they're not talking about their teeth, but they went below their jaw. Like, how do you get chow in the mouth?
I think they have other teeth in their mouth.
I know, but then it's
how do you
like
pull
wearing
it
like
in?
a guard. You gotta.
So they would sink their teeth
Yeah.
into the mammoth, and then they turn on the suction vacuum cleaner,
Suck it up.
and it would just start sucking.
Oh
Makes
wow!
sense. I
Really?
saw that.
You know a lot about biography.
I do know about biography. All right, Coney, which, in case you guys didn't know, is another word for rabbit. That's another great cover.
Ooh.
By the way, I should mention that last game. I'm very excited about.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Coney is designed by Giampaolo Razzini. This is from Little Rocket Games. So you're going to be building your own little rabbit farm, putting cards in a 3x3 grid, which makes it sound like a very little game. A 3x3 grid can't be a big game.
No.
It's really pretty. That is a really pretty cover. This is
Artwork is Mirko Properzi.
Hopefully, this is again kind of another one of those very relaxing, sweet little games.
Get better.
You know, like herbaceous kind of games. That would be neat. I like those kinds of games. They're not for every occasion, but they have their place.
But come on. Wouldn't you kind of like to open that box and have this 1v1 just aggressive cutthroat style
Imagine.
game? Yeah.
Like, I'm cooking you a rabbit. Like, oh, jeez.
All right. If you're a fan of people who like weathered-looking boxes, and I'm not, then you'll like Fiction's Memoirs of a Gangster.
You know what? It has a pulp detective look. Hopefully it's a better game inside of it.
I like the look. I just
do
don't like
too.
the weathered box.
I do
No.
like that.
But then I always sit there and I get the card and I'm like,
Oh, when it
Oh.
gets to the cards, you kind of wonder.
it's like
yeah, but it's,
even the box, it looks like the box is beat up.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that.
I like
that
the artwork,
style.
though.
I can turn all your boxes into this.
No, but they won't fit.
They all turn into this eventually.
I like that this one looks like an old beat-up pot boiler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's...
All right, so who are the people who designed it?
Ooh, Watership
are
Down.
Fabian Rafad and Juan Rodriguez. They designed The Grizzled. The artist is Eric
okay.
Beller, who illustrated Trekking Through History.
Okay.
So this is
Oh,
published
wow,
by
really?
Yeah, so this is published by Ludonova. It's a cooperative game in which you're a mafia boss trying to get enough influence and power to win a mayoral election. This may be the first cooperative mafia game I've ever heard of. I think.
Yeah, you might be right.
Because if you said, hey, I'm making a game about mafia, I'd be like, definitely fighting game.
Fully
Yeah.
co-op.
Yeah.
Huh.
People throwing each other into the river and all that. Yeah.
It's coming
That's
out
neat.
at Essen.
Okay, I'm psyched for that. That goes right on my list
Yep.
to check out.
You know what's in? Dinosaurs, because here we go. Lands of the Mesozoic. Now this cover is nice, but it's not as cool as the other one.
No.
It looks posed. Gotcha.
All right, everyone move. The T-Rex like, can I eat? You're like, no.
Hold on.
Stay still, Phil. Hold on. We're almost done.
All right, so this is
Don't
from...
humanize the T-Rex.
This is... let's see. The card game is designed by Australian geoscience lectern Ander Gwynne, with artwork presented by award-winning Ukrainian paleo artist Sergei Krasovsky.
Cool. That's very competent artwork, clearly.
Yeah.
Like, really good.
You're building habitats, and you're trying to have a good ecosystem, and there's the player with the most points after the 3 periods of Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous period. This is coming out December.
Okay.
I always try to have a good ecosystem, though, in any game.
I do
Really,
too.
you know?
Not me.
Except for Comet, apparently. That's going to go south.
All right. This lady's going to shoot a giant arrow right into your head. Gods of Rome.
Oh, wow.
I'm not even sure who she's pointing at, because all those people are safe at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because she is just pointing at something. Anyway, this is from Pythagoras. Now, this I'm actually excited about, because it looks like Pythagoras is taking the criticisms of their games. I think Pythagoras makes good games,
Yeah.
but they all look like they came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
This does not look like their other games at
Right.
all.
Right.
So but their mechanisms are good. So I'm
Well, some
excited about that.
Miguel Coimbra artwork, which is superb. He's one of the absolute best artists working in board games.
I like that cover a lot.
That's
Yeah.
a great cover.
Yeah.
This is the kind of cover that makes me want to go, ooh, let me pick this game up and flip it over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in this game, you're going to choose a god-backed tribe at the start of the game, and you have to
Huh.
lead that tribe to gain the god's favor.
Okay.
So on your turn, you'll either visit a god, getting their blessing token,
Done.
activating a card, or scoring. So there's different checkpoints on the favor track, and different things are happening. Yeah, their games are usually not particularly complicated, like an hour, 90-minute games. So this is exciting. This is not the only game coming from them. Here's another one coming from them called Lata, which also does not look like one of their games. It feels like they've embraced modern game looks.
Interesting.
This one, can of tuna. Do you like tuna?
I do like
Sardines.
tuna.
I'm sorry, sardines.
No.
You don't like sardines?
No. Do you?
I do like sardines.
Really salty.
Do you like sardines? Mm-hmm. Do you like the little octopus you can get in those tins too?
No.
You get octopus in those tins?
Uh-huh. Goya. They make everything.
We do.
Gosh.
Anyway, this is the Portuguese canning
Nasty.
industry, which this is based on here. This is like World War II. These type of thing is very popular because you can send them to the troops and stuff, and it made it because of World War II. Then they became more popular.
Okay.
I love that
So you're learning
I
history.
haven't thought of those cans that come with the keys in
Oh, I know.
years.
You still make them?
I don't
don't
know. I assume
know.
they do, but
I thought they were all
Maybe
pool
they're
tops
usually
now.
the pull tops.
I know, but that's so cool. That's such a
Yeah,
throwback to
that
me.
is.
Where you take the key and you put it in the thing and you like roll it open. It's
That
so
was-
cool. I
it is.
mean, again, it just blows my mind. And did you know, by the way, that cans were invented several years before can openers? Back in I want to say maybe between the First and Second
Really?
World War.
Well, it would be weird the other way around.
It would be.
Hey guys, I made a can
They were
opener.
but it was
So like,
years.
what's that for?
It was years. I guess they used bayonets or knives or whatever to crack them open.
Huh. Or
And then eventually they were like, okay, we got a tool to do this.
So next game a timeline. I'm going to know where to put that.
You're going to know.
Anyway, you're buying and selling
Huh.
fish, tomatoes, olive oil to your factories, making preserves, selling them to the markets. So it's it's an economic style game. It sounds really good. I like the theme because it's a different theme. Like you're not buying and selling silk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
cool.
It's interesting.
I hope it's scented.
Oh.
Can I open it up?
Oh, they're scented.
All right, the last
Sardines.
game for today here is from Funny Fox, and this is Nautilus Island. Today's a good day for box covers.
That's nice.
This is from Johannes Gruppi and Theo Rivera. I like Theo a lot. You are castaway, shipwrecked on an island, a volcanic island, of course. But you come across this abandoned submarine, which you're trying to repair and get off the island. I'm assuming it's No, it's not cooperative. It's competitive. You're trying to claim bonuses for various sets. The player with the most victory points wins. Oh, you're trying to get off the island before everybody else.
Right.
Hey guys, I found a summary. Let's all work to get it together. We're going to leave at 6. So get a good night's sleep.
Oh man, that'd be so bad.
That would be like the worst.
I do like that. I like the cover. I like the idea. Funny Fox has made some other interesting stuff, and this is kind of a Porta adjacent anyway, this company.
Yeah, but it's even more different than you think. It's 2 to 4 players, and it plays in 20 minutes.
I like the board too. Those look like little tiles or something down there, or are they cards? Oh, it looks
They do look
good.
like tiles. I don't know. We'll see.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, I lied. There is another game. Sorry.
Is it Fire?
Tangram City by
Oh.
Uwe Rosenberg.
Oh.
People are like, Uwe Rosenberg, all you do is make square polyomino games. And he's like,
No.
hold my beer. I don't know if he drinks beer. He must. He makes it's in a lot of his games.
I think he's hot tea.
He definitely eats food. We know that much. 'Cause it's
do.
in all of his games.
You have to eat food. So this is from Korean Board Games, which I like. I'm a little less excited about this. I think tangrams are interesting, but this is like just a polyomino game with some more unique shapes type thing.
Gosh, that looks boring.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't look super exciting.
Cover's pretty funny how that city is actually made in the Tangram.
The cover's great, actually. I really like the cover. The
a lot-
letters, like the logo, I think is great.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking cover, but that game shot is like, ooh, okay. But hey, I'm sure it's competent. Unless it's not, because he's definitely also the guy who made that one game. What was that one game that nobody liked?
Anagram City?
No, he made that like...
Little City?
Uwe Rosenberg has like one well-known super
Oh,
good.
the 2-player game.
Hengist?
Hengist, yes. Oh,
I'm playing
man. It's
Hengist
so
is
bad.
like
Really?
awful. It's one of the worst games I've ever played.
That's not no joke, yes.
I'll
All
play
right.
it.
In industry news, so this broke just last week, and so I want to read some more about it before we talked about it. Although there has not been a lot of movement in the last week. Upper Deck is suing Ravensburger and designer Ryan Miller over Disney Lorcana. Disney Lorcana, gigantic collectible card game release from Ravensburger with the Disney theme, in which you are artists drawing pictures or something like that, fighting back and forth with each other, trying to get 20 points.
Okay.
This was going to be, and as far as I know, still is the big Gen Con release for
Everywhere,
them.
yeah.
The events that were sold out instantly for it. The froth over this game is high. Upper Deck is saying that Ryan Miller, the designer who worked for them, designed another game for them called, what was that other game called? Forgettable Name, because it really was a forgettable
Something of
name.
Ashcon or
Yeah, something like that. Anyhow, he was designing this game for them, and then he took that game mechanisms and brought it here, and now it's ruined the launch of their game, basically.
Okay.
So there's a lot of back and forth. Justin Jacobson, who's a lawyer, posted a little bit about this online and
saw
talked
that.
about it. I mean, we don't know who's right, who's wrong. Obviously, that's why courts exist, to help that sort of thing out. You cannot, according to current law, copyright game mechanisms. So if you made a game, I would just steal it straight up and say Tom Vassell, and I would sell more than
And
yours.
add Opoly on the end, yeah.
I would add Opoly on the end. Well, no, you can trademark and copyright names and stuff. Wizards of the Coast trademarked tapping famously a while ago.
Really?
Yeah, but that patent has expired.
Okay.
And everyone else just did it. They just called it something else.
Right.
Right, okay.
But what the crux of this is not that the game is the same. It's that he made it, they're claiming, while working for them. So therefore, it's theirs.
And that's where it
Right.
gets muddier. Yeah.
Right. His contract could stipulate that
Right.
anything, it's not about copyrighting the game or the game's mechanisms, which, yes, again, is sort of a nebulous area and you can't do. But if it's a breach of contract for him to have taken something very close to something he worked on for them,
Right.
which belongs to them while he works there, and took it somewhere else, then that's where it starts to get a little messy, And yes, absolutely, this is still very much developing, so there's not a lot of news or clarifications out there, but this could hold more water than the usual so-and-so stole a mechanism in my game. It's like, well, that's too bad. But when contracts and previous employers versus new employers come into play, there might be something there.
But we don't know, so we're being very cautious on. I don't know who did what, where, why. Why they waited this long. The game has been out for a while to do this, but maybe legalities take longer.
You mean the game's not out. The announcement's been out.
No, Upper Deck. Ravensburger has basically said we did nothing in their press release. Upper Deck says we believe in fair play, and that's why we're doing this. They're being very holy in theirs, and Ravensburger's being very honest in theirs, and I don't believe Ryan has made a public statement. Probably was told not to.
Probably.
You should not make public statements about legal stuff unless your lawyer says do it. But anyway, we'll find out. So
my point being that Lorcana is not out.
No, but the rules have been out for quite a while. I played it back at Gamma, remember?
Sure. But
And you wonder the timing on why they waited, or less or less.
It just might have taken a while for the legalities to get together.
Right, or they were trying to talk it out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's interesting.
My guess would be this won't see court. That would be my guess.
No, I wouldn't think so, because...
I think it will be settled behind the scenes. And,
I assume so as well.
And you'll still see Lorcana. They put too much into this Lorcana with the Disney license.
It's Disney.
Right.
Yeah.
This will come out.
Although Disney is not being sued.
No, it's not. No.
They didn't name Disney as a defendant.
Oh,
because,
don't do that.
I would not.
No.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right, and then in the last piece of industry news, Renegade has acquired the license for Heroescape and changed the logo to look like this. I'm not sure why, but...
No, this was already the logo that they showed when they tried to crowdfund it.
Oh, this was okay, so it was changed to some degree.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Heroescape, this is part of their deal. So if you wonder why Renegade got it and not Restoration or other people, because Renegade had made a deal with them to get Access and Allies and a lot of their older games that they're not printing. Acquire.
Okay.
Renegade is reprinting these older Hasbro games, and so this is a good way for Hasbro to let the game get reprinted, but hold true to their, hey, the Kickstarter didn't fund, or whatever they call it. The polls. In one of the worst run campaigns I've ever seen. Hasbro bungled that one like a mad dog. Now, how is Renegade going to do this? They've been very quiet on that. They've announced that they're hiring someone to be in charge of it to some degree. But there's going to be terrain packs, faction boxes, new models. They haven't mentioned if the models will be painted. I doubt they will because it's expensive.
Right. Or if they'll be plastic. They haven't mentioned that either.
I would hope
they
so.
wouldn't?
No, I think they will. But I'm just pointing out that they haven't actually said that.
Thank you.
Shrinky
They have basically said they're going to run
card game also,
tournaments, and I think they also said it will be backwards compatible.
Rolling around.
Really? Like combinable with all the old Heroescape stuff?
I think so. They're trying to do organized play. There's no launch. There's not a lot more other than that. I am cautiously optimistic about this. I am not over the moon about this because I wasn't over the moon about that Kickstarter. There's a few things also. They bungled it. I don't like the not painted stuff because it's not going to match the other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
If you play with it as is, I think that's fine then, right?
Yeah.
You'll if you just say the old stuff doesn't exist and play, then I don't care. I don't need my minis to be painted per se, but having it unpainted with painted is weird.
I do feel like a lot of the people who were into Heroescape when they were younger and when Heroescape probably got them into that hobby, I feel like many of them probably became miniatures painters, though.
Right.
So I do wonder if, to many folks, this might not be a selling point. Like, ooh, I get to paint Heroescape and combine it with old Heroescape. Nostalgia dream. You know what I mean?
From looking at the fan bases online and stuff, it seems divided in that way. The other thing I didn't like is my main point for Heroescape was you have Revolutionary War soldiers, Vikings, Men in Black, dragons, all mixed together, robots and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, as time went by, Hasbro started releasing Dungeons and Dragons Heroescape, and it just became all fantasy. And this new expansion was clearly all fantasy. Still a fun game, but that anachronistic stuff is fun.
It is. Yeah.
I don't know if Renegade will do that or not, and we also don't know if Renegade. They obviously have licensing power. They got Power Rangers and G.I. Joe and.
Oh, interesting.
Could they stick that in? I don't know.
That would be interesting.
But that would be interesting.
Yeah.
You make a
also
G.I.
have-
Joe Heroescape set?
Really? You love G.I. Joe stuff?
I do, man.
That's
A
so
G.I. Joe
sad.
set. Really? G.I. Joe better than...
The more you know. Moving on.
I was gonna say
No,
Boston
wasn't
Beans
there
candy.
there was a Marvel Heroescape, right?
There was one Marvel
Yeah.
Heroescape.
Was that good? Did you play that?
I
I'm
liked it a
assuming you did.
lot,
Yeah.
and it was so popular actually that the custom Marvel and DC stuff online is immense. I have a ton of it here. Even I
like
bought it because they could use
Fan made. Okay.
they use the HeroClix figures.
Yeah. Okay.
And people
Oh,
would
yeah,
play
yeah.
test it, and there, you can. It's a good superhero light battle system. A lot.
That's cool. I never played the Marvel one. Yeah.
So, like I said, cautiously
Like it.
optimistic. I'm going to wait to hear more from Renegade. I'm also going to. I haven't yet seen their version of Acquire and Axis and Allies and stuff. I want to see what they've done with them so far. I'm looking at both of those, and they look
Fine.
like sideways lateral moves from the original games, which is
Right.
not a bad thing per se. Heroescape, we'll see.
Yeah, this
It's a
one will
big
need to.
undertaking. This, you know.
I bet they kickstart it
Oh, yeah.
or crowdfund it, and I bet we don't see it till late 24.
Yeah.
Unless
I
they
agree.
just take all the stuff from the Pulse and it's ready to go.
They're going to revamp
You
it.
think it was ready to go?
Well, I mean, like the files and the.
Oh.
All right, well, we'll see. And that, folks, is the news.
Hey there, all you lovely smorgasborders. This is Mike Delicio coming to you from the Dice Tower Midwest Annex. And what I've been doing lately here on the Smorgasbord is talking a little bit about importing games from other countries. I've begun to go down that rabbit hole, and it is a deep and very windy passage. I'm finding a lot of very interesting things, and it's been something that's been fascinating to me, just as a collector and as a board game fan. And one of the things that I've been finding is that many times you can find games that have been out that are, relatively familiar to English-speaking audiences, but they come out in different countries. So, like, for example, here's a Korean version of Voodoo Prince by Reiner Knizia, and it doesn't really change anything about the game other than perhaps the artwork. However, there are certain games that for licensing reasons are only available in particular countries. For example, did you know that there is a version of the game Point Salad, a very popular game, card game, that in Korea has a Pokemon-themed edition? It's true. Let me show it to you really quick and we'll come back here. All right, so here you see the Pokemon edition, specifically the Eevee edition of Point Salad, and this is from the original North American publisher AEG, and in Korea, Mondu Games. And it really is essentially the exact same game. So if you open it up, you do have only a Korean rule book, so there are a couple of different ways you can approach this. One, you can just use a little Google Translator on your phone, or it's, again, essentially the same game as Point Salad, so you can really just look up the rules on that online. The cards in the game are all going to be different evolutions of Eevee on one side, so I'm not going to even try to. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to even try. I know that I do know some of the names, but I'm not going to try. And then on the back, you've got the scoring conditions. Okay, so the game is played exactly the same as traditional Point Salad, with the exception of a couple, these two little special Eevee cards that kind of change things a little bit, but it's essentially the exact same game. You play it the same way, you score it the same way. But as you can see, if someone is a fan of the game, and especially if they are a fan of Pokemon and they like Point Salad or just little card games, this could be something that would be very appealing to them as well. And for somebody who's a collector like me, I kind of just like having a unique edition of a game. So there you go. That was the Eevee edition of Point Salad from Mondu Games, a Korean publisher. And I think it's cool. Now, I'm not even the biggest Pokemon fan. If you were, I think it would be even more cool. But just the idea that a game that I was already familiar with, that I already knew that I liked, has a version that is specific to a particular country or region. I don't know, I just get a kick out of that kind of stuff. Again, this is probably more the collector side of me than the board game side of me, but they're coming together, and I'm really kind of enjoying this process of finding these games. Now, they're not always easy to get imported. Again, this one, the Pokemon edition of Point Salad, just cannot be sold in this country, so you have to import it or find other means to do so, maybe on the secondary market, and the prices can oftentimes be quite prohibitive for those types of things. But perhaps if this is something that is really special and you really are looking for it, you might find that it's worth it to you. This particular game, the Pokemon edition of Point Salad, I've seen on eBay, for example, for not a tremendously high price. So it's not something that is that difficult to get a hold of or not that terribly expensive. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. I thought that some of you might find it interesting as well. That's going to do it for me. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your smorgasbord.
I think that's real.
Think so?
Yes, I agree. All right, we're talking about food again.
Jerky. Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
pizza toppings. Easy topic here. Easy topic, although no one's going to agree with my toppings.
Are
But,
they disgusting?
well, people will say so, but I like it. And by the way, I'm assuming we're all excluding cheese as an obvious.
Obviously. And I looked at the fact that if I'm going to somewhere like Sorrento's on the cruise or whatever, and they have all the toppings and I can tell them. I'm not talking like calling Domino's and picking one of their 10. And those are in there as well, but I'm also like, if you can go to like,
The
like
cruise?
Mondo's Pizza. Well, Sorrento's, a place on the...
They have fewer toppings than Domino's. What are you
Well,
talking
they used
about?
to have more pre-COVID.
Whatever. Mine are really boring old topics. This is what I want on a pizza.
All right, go first then.
Fine. My number 3. Joey's going to like this. Black olives.
Oh,
Joey.
man.
Not green olives.
We
What kind of
have a-
monster are you?
We have a half crossover.
No.
Black olives. They're delicious. They're salty. They do well with... That's another thing I think about when it comes to toppings is do they do well with being baked on top of... blasted, on top of this cheese wheel.
Yeah.
And I think black olives hold up well to that.
I do like black olives in there. Yeah.
They add a nice little saltiness to the whole thing. I think they're tasty. I like black olives. But yeah, my toppings are going to be pretty simple.
All right, my number 3 is shrimp.
Oh,
A lot of
that
people
is a
don't
good
get
one.
shrimp on pizza, and it would be higher actually, but they usually when they put shrimp on pizza, they put the small scampi shrimp. And I
Huh.
would love if they had like big chunks of, but that would be super expensive
I
pizza.
don't mind. I like the little itty bitty shrimp on pizza. Bigger than that, I don't actually think shrimp goes that well with cheese.
Okay, well anyway, I don't know what that lunacy said. You said something doesn't go well with cheese, and everything you said before that is incorrect.
Ice cream doesn't go well with cheese, is what I said.
Dessert, fine, but like name a non-dessert food that wouldn't have cheese, make it amazing.
Tuna.
I eat cheese and
Oh,
tuna. What
yeah.
are you talking about?
I know.
Pikachu.
All right, full circle. But anyway, so anyway, I really like shrimp on pizza. You can't get it at every pizza we have, but a lot of them have it, and I like it. I just like the flavor it gives. So,
I've never had that.
I have had those little ones, and they are very tasty.
Really? On pizza?
Usually it's white sauce. It's a white sauce instead
Yeah,
of
I
a red
get like the
sauce.
Alfredo sauce. Yeah, I guess that'll be good.
That's
yeah.
good. The little shrimpies, yeah.
Uh-huh.
They died for me, and I love them.
All right, that's... All right, my number 3 is green olives. It is a half...
Are you serious?
I am serious.
now, who even does that?
Some of them,
Joey.
Pizza Hut does it.
They
A
do
couple
not
places.
do green olives.
They do. Places do green... Mondo's Pizza does it.
Well, that's true because you can get anything there.
Yes, see?
What's Mondo's? Wait, who's Mondo's?
Is it Mondo's?
No, you're thinking of
What's a place next to CSI?
Mod.
CSI.
Mod Pizza. Mod Pizza does it. So it's good
They're not there
because
for the pizza.
Wait, they have green olives at Mod Pizza?
they have green olives.
They're there for the salads that they make.
Oh.
And Joe's like, I would like that on my pizza. And
I
the
always
guy
get a
just was
look.
like,
Okay, black olives I like too, but green olives have more flavor. They seem to pop a bit more for me. So really, either olives, I would choose green over black.
I've never done that, but
People in
next
chat
time I
have-
got like an oven pizza, Joey, I will do that.
Thank you.
off the top of
It's
your
good.
head, what's your favorite lunch meat? Is it olive loaf?
I do hate olive loaf. No,
Okay,
no.
good. I was a
No,
little
that's
worried there.
nasty. That's like grapefruit and grapes. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's garlic bologna. Everybody knows that. That's
See,
the good
people in
one.
the chat like green olives. Maybe.
Frozen pizzas often come with green olives.
Ah, didn't know that.
Like
All
on
right,
the
listen.
side?
Listen, you have your fan base. Read your comments. Meanwhile, go to your number 2.
Oh, agree. I'll just
My number 2 is onions.
Onions is a
Okay.
good choice.
I like it. I like
onions.
Onions,
Solid.
man. I
Yep.
don't care. You don't have to go too fine with it either. I like my big chunk of onions right on there.
Do you like them diced or do you want them bigger pieces?
Strips.
I want the bigger, like,
I do too, yeah.
No, dice, they get lost.
Yeah.
You know, they get lost in the cheese there. I
Onions are
want
good one.
the strips, yeah. Well,
Yep.
not super chopped. I don't know. Again, they cook well onto a pizza. That's another thing. They're tasty. They add
Really
a new
good.
profile to the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, my 3 here are going to go well together, too.
You're just imagining a pizza to
I
eat
basically
after
just-
this.
yeah, I'm having one pizza, not 3 separate pizzas. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Sorry if that wasn't the assignment, but yeah, I really like onions on pizza. This is an easy one to add to something too. I'll even chop up an onion and put it on a pizza after, and that's still good. So
Huh, okay.
it's
I
my
agree with
version of green olives.
I almost put hot honey.
Oh,
That's mine,
so
but I don't
good.
know that that's a topping. That's more of a garnish at the end.
So good.
I thought about that. But my number 2, I do like a bit of spice, although these aren't spicy at all, really, and that's banana peppers.
Yep.
I
I'm not a big fan of banana
I've,
peppers.
Really?
I've dropped down.
They're okay.
You asked me this 15 years ago, I would have easily said jalapenos or habaneros or the hottest pepper you can think of.
Right.
But banana peppers are more my speed, and I like the flavor they bring. I think they bring out the flavor of whatever else is in the pizza. Like, for example, banana peppers plus Hawaiian is a really great combo
Oh,
for me.
interesting.
Yeah, that would be good.
I like that there. I don't know, I just
I
like
like
them.
jalapenos on pizza.
I do, because they
Yeah,
don't seem
give
as
you a
hot.
little kick,
either.
but not too nasty.
Right.
They're not that hot, unless you they
But-
put them on fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made that
Banana
mistake.
peppers, no, and they're the last thing that go on a sub for me too, probably. I'll put it in there.
Really?
But I'm like, yeah, sure, put banana peppers in it. But
Oh man, that's
not a
my
big fan of them.
I would eat it as a sub that was just banana peppers, but
A banana pepper sub?
I would. I love banana
Me
peppers.
too. Yeah,
That's
man.
disgusting.
I like them as much as he likes green olives, actually, I think.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
That's a whole lot. All right, my number 2 is a weird one that I actually do. Not weird, but it's like I got it at the cruise the first time. They had them there. I thought, I'll try it.
Donkey meat.
I would try that too. But no, it is capers. You know capers that you put
I
on
know
like
what
Italian
capers
food?
are, yes.
Capers on a pizza, really good. So
Okay, this is interesting. I've never had this.
So we make pizzas at home. I have my wife get capers and put them on because they're that explosions of saltiness and stuff.
Yeah.
They're really
Well, then
good.
you would like anchovies, right?
I've never tried anchovies. It's more the smell that's deterred me from.
Yeah, but if you like that explosion of salt, that's what they are.
I know. So maybe
You know
I'll
what else
try
works
those.
for that, actually? Salt.
But capers are
Rock
really
salt.
good.
Put big chunks on your thing.
Yeah, you just bite and lick a little bit. The crust is stuffed with rock salt.
You and the deer.
No, capers, I like capers quite a bit. I cook them into, I put them in some things I make, some rices and some pastas. But
Yeah.
I never thought of it on a pizza, but I suppose that'd work. I do wonder if being cooked on the pizza will
Dumbs it down a
shrivel
little
them
bit.
up and,
It
like,
does. They're
wreck
not as
'em.
potent, but you just put more of them on there.
As a side note, I am astounded when it comes to pizza at how people do not like to experiment
That
or
is
move out of their
true.
comfort zone at all. I'll order pizzas at church and I'll be like, okay, I guess half of them will be cheese or pepperoni by a mile. And I'll order all these cool, interesting pizzas
Right,
and no
nobody-
one touches them.
Yeah.
My kids, though, do, because that's all I get. I don't even get cheese.
The cheese pizza and the vanilla ice cream people, do you put them in the same kind of section of the room?
Vanilla is a flavor, I guess. But yeah, it's always weird to me that people don't want to like taste new flavors and combos.
Yeah.
Like it's like when you go to an Indian
People-
restaurant, you're like, I don't want to eat anything here, and I'm like, what? The butter chicken's the only thing I'll take. Like, but there's
Yeah.
all these flavors and things. Try them.
Yeah. People are really boring. My number 1 is pepperoni. Pepperoni has there's a few different kinds of pepperoni.
There are.
I like both of the ones I can think of, which is the old, large sort of
Yep.
that you can get anywhere. But then there's the smaller, more potent ones that curl up when they get put
Yes,
on a pizza.
yes, I know you're
You know
talking
what I'm
about.
talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called, Canadian pepperoni or something probably, but those are delicious and they get crispy. Because again, they levitate off the pizza and crispify and become a little cup filled with oil.
They really do, don't they?
Yes, they do.
I can
You know what I mean?
You give a great visualization of that. I can see it.
Thank you. You can see it. And you can even like take off the little cup and drink it.
No.
Okay, now stop being
That's what
weird.
I hate when people
You
do
can put
that.
a green olive in there and it fits perfectly. It's like a,
I'm back
it's like a little
now.
dress
I'm
for green
back.
olive.
I'm back.
With little pants.
Do you like pepperoni off pizza?
No, I'd rather get like chopped up Italian sausage at that point.
Okay, so you never bought
I'm
like a
getting, like,
pepperoni
No.
thing and then just chopped it and ate it?
I get
tried
an
that.
Italian
That's-
sausage for
that's
that. Like
intense.
get some good Italian sausage and slice that up. Yeah.
But if
Okay.
you had people grab your pepperoni off your pizza, say, hey, I'll just take a piece, and then there's that circle of no cheese, and it's just like, I don't eat that pizza anymore. That was like the
Really?
centerpiece.
No.
Who's grabbing
what?
pizza off your pepperoni off your pizza and leaving with a hand intact?
That would be my wife.
Okay, that's legit.
You don't want to eat that
And
pizza
give her the
anymore.
whole
That piece
piece.
still has pizza on it.
But not a lot of pepperoni. There were 5
There's
pepperonis.
none actually.
Yeah, but now you can get those pepperoni filled. Do you like the ones that are like pepperoni?
That's
Or is
a
that too
thing?
much? Yeah, you can get like double,
Yes.
triple pepperoni.
But inside the pizza in
No,
layers.
no. What?
Oh.
I don't-
Solid layered
Yeah,
pepperoni.
you made it sound like there was like a hidden bunker pepperoni.
Stuffed crust with pepperoni?
They
All right.
have made that, right? And that's really good.
It's so good.
No, pepperoni, you can't go wrong. Yeah, triple pepperoni.
All right. My
good.
number one is really easy. I love chicken on pizza. Any which way, barbecue chicken pizza, chicken on a Hawaiian pizza, just chicken. That combo of chicken and pizza for me is so good. I love it. You don't like chicken on pizza?
No, I don't.
I really like it.
That's the only one so far that I'm like, no.
It's actually a crossover with me because my number one is buffalo chicken I put on there. But really, it's just,
I have tried that.
buffalo chicken.
And it's like all right, but I would never order
good,
it.
though.
Buffalo chicken, barbecue chicken.
Barbecue
If
chicken.
there's chicken on the menu, I'm in, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
same here.
Really? How disappointing.
You're not a big chicken guy in general, though, are
I'm
you?
not really, no.
Oh, man.
Chicken's probably my
I like my-
favorite of the regular meats.
I like chicken.
I agree.
Well, white meat, and really well done and really dry is actually how I prefer chicken, which is like counter to how most people want chicken.
No, my chicken
No, I'm
has
with you.
to be
I'm with
done.
you on that. But isn't the
Done
the
and
meat
dry.
on a pizza is usually white meat? It's not.
Yeah, it's usually.
It's not
It's white
greasy, dark
meat,
meat.
and it's but
Yeah.
I also don't want it on a pizza. I mean,
Do you do wings? I know Tom does not do
I like wings.
I just found
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out.
yeah.
That's chicken.
I know I do have some chicken. I'm just not a big fan. It's okay, you know.
Huh.
I'd rather have a steak or something, you know. I'd rather have beef
Steak
than
on
chicken.
pizza.
Would you put all three of yours on the same pizza?
I don't know about. I don't
Olives,
think
capers,
so.
chicken.
No, I don't think. I don't know.
Mine is like that's pretty close to a perfect pizza.
I would
for
do
me.
a
That's
Z
all I
pizza.
want.
Onions, pepperoni, and
Black olives, onions, pepperoni, and on top of that, if I can have like unlimited toppings,
Sausage?
I'm putting some maybe a little Canadian bacon,
Yes.
possibly some green peppers,
Yes.
yes.
and some jalapenos, like I said. Put
Okay.
that bad boy on a thin crust.
Oh,
That thing
you
is
lost me at thin
gone.
crust.
Why?
Thin crust is
Guess, like,
delicious.
because you eat more pizza that way.
yes.
Yes.
But also, no, it's just nice and crunchy and great. It lets all those toppings be
Thin
the-
crust and stuffed crust. Any other
I
crust?
agree.
I agree.
Should
I
not
agree.
matter.
Yeah.
I'm with you on stuffed crust.
Actually, I want a thin crust, but it's
With a-
stuffed.
It's like a weird, like,
just-
it looks like a pizza that somebody sat on.
Just order breadsticks. Go with
No,
it.
and
No.
here's the thing. Why does no pizza place just sell stuffed crusts? I would buy them.
That is a good
A
point.
stuffed crust is better than a cheesesteak by a mile.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That's so. What yours are shrimp, chicken, and what was your third one?
Banana peppers. I
do that
have
on
not
pizza.
comboed those. I'll do chicken, banana peppers, and then I usually throw on ham, green peppers, onions, and hot honey.
I need to try this hot honey stuff.
It's good.
You got to go to
stuff.
Mod Pizza, man, where they make the pizza in front of you. It's
They
great.
have hot honey
honey,
there.
Yeah, at
dude.
the very end, when the guy it's right after they cook the pizza, he brings out. You're like, they have like several you can get
Yeah.
cilantro, not like
the green stuff and just you get everything.
Some green stuff.
I don't know what it is.
I
I'm
forget that
pouring the
green stuff is. I forget what it is, but yeah, the green stuff like marinara,
God.
some white sauce, but hot
Okay.
honey's one of the things.
You'll need a
Okay.
shower afterwards because that stuff gets everywhere. The hot honey, it was just me. It might be just me.
No, it's me too. I'm just trying not to talk about that. Okay, you weirdo.
It's everywhere.
All right, anyway, those are our 3 favorite
Good
pizza
stuff.
toppings. Let's keep going. So with Lorcana in the news, and Fantasy Flight just announced their Star Wars collectible card game. And Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering set drops tomorrow, or at least Organized Play drops tomorrow, same thing. It's happening over the next week and a half. And its collectible games have been on my mind, and I want to talk a little bit about that. Because if we say a game is collectible, a lot of the board game community will immediately turn into the ultimate snob about it. You know, like, I will collect them all, I'm out. Or just maybe not a snob, but Danger Will Robinson type thing. Like, I don't want to go anywhere near collectible card games.
Right.
I would argue, as a side note, that board gamers still do collectible card games. They just now buy lots of games. You buy 30 games every 2 months, and you hope some of them are good. You hope you get the rare good one.
That's true.
Yeah.
A lot of board gamers have been like, I don't play Magic because I would spend thousands of dollars a year on it. I'm like, have you seen your collection, sir? It's the same thing. But I get why people don't want to, and I was just curious what you all thought about this, because the collectible card game, you buy the cards, and usually there's one rare card, some uncommons, and then some commons, and maybe something else in the pack. Nowadays, the rarities are all over the place. There's foil cards, or there's mythic rares, that are rarer than rare, epic rares, whatever the company calls them.
Yeah.
For me, when this concept was first announced back in 95 or 94, whenever it came out, and I heard about it, I thought it was amazing. I was I love the idea of, because I had been already programmed to do it, as I had been buying baseball cards for the last 15 years, and it was the same thing. I don't think baseball cards had rarity.
There were some that may not have had printed rarity, but some were harder to get, I'm sure.
Yeah, and now that's more of a thing, but yeah.
Again, I think that idea, that concept is so much more interesting when you look at it from that point of view first.
Baseball cards?
Yeah, or whatever card, collectible cards. It's so much more interesting when you go, here's a thing I can buy, I can trade, which who does above the age of 8,
Right.
But not only am I doing that, I'm collecting a thing, just like you would baseball cards or football cards or whatever. But then you get to actually do something with them. Like, that concept is revolutionary, I think. This idea of a collectible thing that you then turn around and you can actually not just look at, which you can do that. It's, they're often gorgeous pieces of artwork. But you can play a game with them. That is so clever. That is so amazing.
You talk about the rarity. I know when I first started baseball cards growing up too, it was the packs. Then they came with more exclusive packs. And then later, now you get you could have one of 50 cards that has a bit of a jersey on there or whatever. So they're doing the exclusivity there.
Well, sure,
too.
but I think they actually almost took that idea from
They did.
card games.
I think those ideas came from these.
Cards were rarer as a kid with baseball cards, because if I wanted, for example, Don Mattingly from the Yankees, he was a popular player, or Mike Schmidt from the Phillies. He was a popular player, so people would keep that. And the players they didn't care about, they didn't keep them. So there was rarity based on the desire, the demand for it.
Yes.
They were the same out there, but they felt rarer. I remember my grandma bought me Pete Rose, back when he was still playing, for $5, just a single card. And that was a big deal. And my parents were so annoyed that I let her do it for me. And I was like, well, you wouldn't, but she bought it for me. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I had Pete Rose. I like that concept, and I'll tell you, when I got into collectible games, it's not so much it can turn into a junkie high, and there's definitely problems with it, right? There's problems with any gambling of any esque thing, but the opening the packs was fun. Yes. I still remember that. It's super strong.
Yeah, there's that the blind packs for my daughter's toys and stuff. There's that
Yes.
on a smaller scale. There's 6 of them, and you're hoping you get all 6.
Right.
You don't have to buy 10. But I will tell you, it's funny how you compare it to like buying board games. You spend this amount on board games, probably the same amount they spend on Magic cards. But like these come on all-ins, but then you see there's an end. Like, okay, it's 600, but then I'm done. So I guess there's that.
Well, you're done with that one game, but next week
I know.
there's 3 more games on Kickstarter.
See, and that's a
want.
problem because it's just as bad. You're right.
It's the same thing,
It is.
really. The difference being, if you're not buying singles of Magic or whatever, you are blind buying. So you might not get what you know you're getting.
But because the secondary market exists,
you can get whatever
you
you
can
want.
buy what you want. Now, the argument people give me is they'll be like, if I want to have a competitive deck and competitive play, you need to spend thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
That just goes right over my head because I don't care if I have a competitive deck and competitive play.
Right.
I'm just playing these games for fun. And if you do want to be competitive, then to me, it's like any other thing else. If you want to be competitive in a sport, you end up paying a lot of money for that equipment. You don't buy junky old equipment.
Right. And
You also put in time and practice and practice and practice, and time is money. I don't disagree that there's a lot of CCGs that prey on the consumer, the companies, especially younger ones. And Magic, I was just talking about this. I'm not real thrilled with this One Ring thing because it's raised the price of this Lord of the Rings set and the cards and everything. It's just the froth is really high here for that one card. But I have been actually pretty happy with Wizards of the Coast over the last decade because I can just go buy a couple decks, maybe get a couple boosters, switch a few cards out, and it's been those decks are good decks.
Magic the Gathering has made a lot. Again, I was talking about Magic the Gathering when I said about that original inception being really an interesting and clever idea. I think Magic the Gathering, and by extension, I guess Wizards of the Coast, have made some really bizarre, money-hungry, just awful, choices over the last few years.
Yeah.
Things like all the MSRPs are gone. They don't exist. They don't tell you how much something's worth.
Really?
They don't have MSRPs. Did you know that?
Yeah, I do know that. That's why they're selling that's why the Lord of the Rings ones are so high,
Right.
because we don't know what they should be.
Right.
Oh,
so
I
that's
didn't know
something
that.
they
That's-
did, right?
Huh.
And then
Those vaults, what do they call them?
yeah, all the drops, the secret drops, or what is it
Secret
called?
lair.
Secret layers,
Yeah.
yeah. They're just, again, preying on people's FOMO and fear and need to own a thing. They underprint some things that they know keep those things rare. They did that, what was the anniversary they just had, in which they were printing basically for $1,000 or something? What was it, Roy? How much money was that thing?
Oh,
Magic the Gathering, a celebratory.
Oh goodness gracious! It was like what, like $300 for like a booster pack or something?
Yeah, it was insane. It was like hundreds and hundreds.
and they
of-
weren't even tournament legal.
And they were like proxies, just printed by them. They weren't actual cards. It was a piece of cardboard that you couldn't even technically take to a place and play with.
Wow.
And they just have continued doing this. So no, they get very little love from me right now. But the game is very good, and as long as you put that you put that on you to avoid some of these things they're doing and fall prey to them, then I think you're going to have a good time with it.
I have never owned a Magic card. I've played the games everybody
I
else's.
stuck one in your pocket. Look, it's right here. Is this your card?
Ah, you beat me to it. But it's one of those, I love the game, but I also know that I'm a completionist in the fact that I would love to get really into it, and I know I'd fall into that. The
I
game
can
is
see you
enjoyable.
doing that for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that if you do have that problem, then you should stay away from these games.
Right, which
And
I
this
do.
is expanded even more into regular life with apps. You can buy apps,
yes.
and the apps have lots of buy a
Yes.
random pack of something,
Yep.
which I think is even worse because then it's all virtual stuff you own.
Is
To
Snap
be
that bad?
fair, if you like these kinds of games or the idea that allure is there are alternates, quite a few of them now, that you can get that will give you a trading card game feel without being a trading card game. In between you have the living card games, but that still could be a money sink. But then there's just games, just card games that feel like trading card games. I mean, you and I just reviewed one, that Gosu 10 game.
Yep.
It kind of feels like a trading card game, but that's it. That's all that exists.
closed
It's that
universe.
game. It's
Yeah.
$30 or whatever. And you're
Yep.
done. So again, there are now alternatives if you are worried about falling down that rabbit hole for money, money's sake.
Yeah, I like the game. To me, the perfect collectible card game is one that allows a player to have fun playing it on a casual level.
Yes.
But also, if the collectors want to do their thing, let them do their thing. I don't care. I don't have to be part of that. And for me, part of that is also characters. Like they're often based on IPs. Like I remember when Star Wars first came out, I was like, great.
Right.
How do I get Luke Skywalker? No, he's a super rare card. There should be a super rare version of him, fine, but you should be able to get Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
And they fixed that a few years later. They came out with lesser powerful ones, but I could still play as that character.
Yeah,
because it's a real
games
bummer not being able to do that.
Yeah, most games are smarter about that now. They try not to be so obviously money grubbing.
Now, does Magic? I heard that Magic takes the tournament, the winning deck or whatever. You could buy a replica of that and play with that deck, but it's not like an actual card. Do they do that?
I don't know if they've done that. Certainly not recently. No.
Okay.
But the
I know
stores.
Pokemon's done that.
Pokemon's done. Okay, so maybe that's what it
And
was.
the
then.
cards are the back
We'll
of
say
the cards are not legal. They're signed
right,
and they have.
but
a
you can
different
play
deck.
the game with it. But
You
you
can play
don't.
the game with the winning deck, and that
Gotcha.
deck was $12 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's like I said, it's very volatile to me. If you don't like them, stay away from them. Tell your kids
Yes.
not to buy them if you want. I just know that while I don't feel the urge to get into them as strongly as before. Like when Lorcana comes out, I'm going to buy the starter decks. I'm going to get some booster packs.
I do want to play that game too. Yeah.
And I don't want to get too much more than that, but I think I'll have fun with that. That'll be fun.
Yes.
Mess around with it, especially since Lorcana's deck building is take two colors and mash them together almost,
Okay.
Right.
It's an interesting topic, and I think it's one that we are sometimes a little snooty about looking down on,
Yeah.
especially when, the rest of, we get mad when people look down on us. Oh, you're playing with games or toys.
Sure. Yeah, I don't have a problem with those kinds of games. In fact, I enjoy many of them and have for many years. But I do think that some companies are behaving less than stellarly in the way
Right.
that they not just sell a game, but prey upon people.
Yeah,
And
You
that's-
know what I mean? And that's just not great. I understand. Sell your game, print more of it, sell it all.
There's definitely
But
a lot of
don't
that
make
on-
that thing that costs $1,000 and you're just selling to your whales at that point. It's
Right.
not even
And they'll let
you're
you
not selling
stop.
the game anymore. You're selling a piece of a painting. You know what I mean?
And they did mention on there. They said Summoner Wars, Gosu, Unmatched, all those type of things would probably tickle that itch for me.
Radlands. Somebody
Yeah.
mentioned Radlands. Love
Radland,
it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, well there you go. That's Collectible Card Games, and that is it for this episode, folks. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here at 2 o'clock for our top 10 fantasy games in a few hours. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joey Evans
I'm Z Garcia.
Have fun eating pizza.
with olives.